So welcome back to the YouTube channel, guys. Today it is pretty bright and early, like, well, 8 o'clock in the morning. Clouds are lingering in the valley, and I thought it'd be cool to do another trail breakdown video, but this time focus on how to specifically ride wet routes with more confidence. So we tried to come up and film this yesterday, but it was absolutely chucking it down. Cameras were covered in water, footage looked shocking. So decided to come up now. There's no rain, but it rained like all night. So the trail down here we're gonna use for the video is gonna be very, very slippy, covered in roots. So we're gonna jump in, we're gonna work our way down the track, and I'm gonna show you some line choices as well as how you can ride some of the trickier sections here covered in roots to, you know, help you improve your confidence and improve your riding. So enough said, we'll jump straight in. Yeah, let's go. So this is the first feature on the track. It's basically like a hump or a roller with a ton of logs built up on the other side. So it's not technically like roots as such, but these things are still quite slippy. So when I'm riding over stuff like this, especially where you're coming in, you know, if there's a bit of a tricky section beforehand, I'm trying to unweight before it and pretty much try and avoid touching any of these slippy roots with my tyres. I'll put a video on the screen now to show it in slow motion, and that's pretty much how I'd get over this section there. I wouldn't try and roll over it too slow or too fast, just a nice consistent momentum and let the bike take you over unweighted. Okay, so we're rolling to the next section. We got some slippy, spicy switchbacks. Oh, very spicy. Oh. Spicy switchbacks with a ton of slippy roots all over them. You can see up here, absolutely covered in slippy wet roots. And there's about 6 or 7 switchbacks going down here that you might not be able to make out on the camera. There's not too many roots down this section, but as you come in here, the setup and line choice is key. So when I know there's a spicy section of trail coming up, I'm always trying to look for the smoothest lines and looking for like the actual dirt where the grip is, because there's not going to be too much grip, or there's going to be zero grip on roots and rubber. It just doesn't work. So I'm trying to either stay light over the roots, but also look for the pockets of dirt in between the roots to give me the best line choice. Got dog on trail today. So if I was coming into this section of track, come here, playing with this stick, there, go and get that. I'd be coming in through this dirty puddle, and I'd be going up the left. Yes, Kai, I'm going up the left here. Off this route, trying to ride off 90-degree routes so there's like as much grip as possible, and I'm trying to hop this horrible route into the dirt over there and then rail the turn. So another quick note, when you're riding like toboggan switchbacks like these, there's plenty of grip in them. It's just having the confidence to ride through them and let the tyres do their work and the bike do its work. For me, when I'm riding stuff like this, I try and position my weight slightly over the rear wheel and kind of like lean a bit more into the turns using my hips, because that just makes me feel much more confident than being too upright on the bike over the front wheel. And obviously when it's really muddy and slippy, you don't want that front wheel sliding around. So I'm trying to keep traction on both wheels, but I'm slightly biased over the rear wheel. Having a good time? Yeah? Okay, so we're at another spicy section. This time the trail has opened up really wide and we've got a number of different lines. A couple of line choices here. We can either hit the berm, which is covered in water, which is why I didn't hit it then, and a little inside line that's come out. This section here, you can see Kai running up the inside there. Really nice wide open bit of track. And we've got the option of either running the whole turn wide, where there's a nice berm at the bottom of the hill, or we can hold the tighter, shorter inside line. So I'll get the camera on its tripod and I'll show you what these two look like. So that's the difference between inside and outside line. So inside, outside in the berm. And then we have this real funny switchback here, or turn, sorry. I find if we ride the outside berm here, you'll probably be able to tell from the videos, I can carry more speed in the corner, even though it's a longer way around, which sets me up then better to hit this corner and carry more speed out down the trail. Whereas the inside line, you kind of have to move your hips to make sure that you are getting as much grip as possible. And then you have to almost switch your hip position to get set up for the left-hand berm. And when it's this slippy, like I don't know if you can see how slippy it is on the camera, but it's literally like really slimy. There isn't much grip going on here. It's like clay, slippy clay. And if you want to carry speed out of corners, you need to hit the apex of that berm and carry as much speed as possible around it. When I ride the inside line into a turn like this, I feel like I end up slapping the berm instead of actually railing it. So that's something to keep in mind when you've got some line choice coming into berms. Sometimes the outside line, or the not so shorter line, might be the faster line. Okay, so I'm about 2 more turns down from where I was just before, and I've got a cool little line choice to show you here, which makes all the difference when you're looking for speed and efficiency on a trail. So when you're riding it in a leaf-in, well, probably any trail, line choice is key to carrying speed. And when we come out of this corner here, we have the option here to split. So we can either go up here where Kai is, or we can ride the main line, which is where most people will go. So most people will ride down here, because that's just where the corner spits them out. But then that doesn't set you up very well for this next corner. So ideally, we want to be almost coming into this corner here. Yeah, you show us, Kai. Coming out of this corner here and pulling out of the corner, and then instead going up here, which will then set us up better for the next turn. Okay, so we've come to a pretty interesting bit of track now with 2 pretty crucial and like defining line choices we can choose from. So 2 options really. We come out of this corner here, and then the track again opens up. We can either take the shortest line down here, which we have to then go over this huge anaconda sized route, which is also at like a 45-degree angle to where our tires want to be. So obviously it could cause things to get a bit leery. All sorts of little roots coming in, but there is a lot of grip. If you can see here, there's a lot of water and a lot of stones, which is way grippier than it looks in some parts of this hill. Or we can go right around the outside, which is the smoother option and the safer option, I guess, and then down there into the left-hand berm. I'll show you this from this side here. Pretty spicy. So we'll give both these a go and show you what they both look like. Whoa! Oh, see what I mean about being slippy? All I did then was catch my rear wheel on a stump and on a slippy route, and my rear wheel was just good at Vienna. Christ. Let's try it again. Making a video about how to ride routes more confidently, and the snake bit me. Yeah, I mean, that just shows you how quickly something can go wrong when you're riding on slippy routes, and that's why it's so important to try and ride or understand how your bike is going to react when you ride over routes that aren't square to your front wheel. So if a route like this is what I slipped on, is at 45 degrees to your tyre, you're going to have to anticipate what your rear wheel is going to do. And I didn't. I thought I was obviously going to hop over that, which is where I thought I was in the air, and obviously my rear tyre just literally clipped it, and it just sent the tyre spinning off. Into the other part of the track, and I was just on my back. Anyway, we'll continue down the trail. I think on this section of track I would still opt for the inside if I was looking to go faster, mainly because the outside, although it is smoother and there's not really much on it to go wrong, it's a very long way around if you were wanting to carry speed out. But having said that, it does let you carry more speed into the next section, so who knows? I mean, horses for courses or courses for horses. Anyway, we'll crack on. Come on. So we'll crack on to the next section. Whoa. Okay, we're at the final section I want to show you guys, which is another split in the track that's got some harder line and a much easier line. Hopefully you can still see it's quite dark in the woods here. All the turns you just saw me ride were fairly grippy, and then we come out this turn and again the track split, so we can either go straight here, which is like a pro line or a racer line, quite a few roots coming in, and then we've got this nice little hop over these two nice big slippery salmon roots. Obviously it's a much faster line going to the next bit of track. So I mean, if you don't want to do this line, there is an easier line lower down which doesn't really have any roots or danger whatsoever. There is a nice little catcher berm, but obviously if you're looking for speed out of a trail, this is probably not the most optimal line because you have to like go down and then back up. It's almost making more work for yourself. So when I'm trying to ride stuff like this, so wet slippy roots again, and we've got like a hop and we're going to hop over this, and the actual platform that you take off on is fairly, there's no roots on it, there's no danger, as long as we get both of those tires off the ground over both the roots. It's a fairly straightforward jump to do, which I'll show you now. So yeah, as you can see, if you jump that route that we just hopped, it sets you up so much better for the next set of trail. There's a lot of routes here off the exit, but if you look at the routes where we're riding them again, they're very square routes, so you can pretty much glide over all these routes with no bother, as long as you stay confident and light on your bike, and then you can rail into that next corner. So you'll see now just how fast, see how much speed I carry out now. Up high, calve in, plenty of grip. Little cheeky inside line here and over about there. And this corner, whoa, he's getting a little bit washed out. Woo. Go on, have a wash. Go and have a wash. That was it. That was my little video on hopefully doing a trail breakdown and showing you guys a little bit about how to be more confident when riding wet, slippy routes, because they can be a mountain biker's worst nightmare. You know, they can make you freeze when you come up to them on trails, and I think it's just a case of riding them more and more and getting used to how your bike is going to react over certain routes, the size, if they're covered in bark or not, what your bike is going to, you know, how your bike is going to react and how your body is going to react. So yeah, a couple of quick fire tips before we go. Make sure you try and stay light over the routes. If you've got a chance to look at line choice before you ride a section that's rooty, do so and try and look for the routes that are, you know, routes that you can ride over square, because that is where you're going to get most grip. If you're trying to ride over routes that are going with the front wheel, or, you know, at 45-degree angles like I showed you in today's video, it's not going to end well. So hope you like it. If you like the stuff like this, trail breakdowns, whatever, give us a thumbs up, helps us spread the word to more people, and it also lets us know that you like this stuff, and so we can create more of it. Go down to the bottom right hand corner of the screen, hit subscribe, hit the bell notification so you don't miss any future videos we put out, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.